As usual, we've tested all the new cars this year and we've brought some of the better ones along here today so that we can pick our Car of the Year 1998. What we're looking for is something that's pretty enough for Vicky, German enough for Quentin, fast and sprightly enough for the failed racing driver Tiffany Dell, and tall enough for me. Eek. It ain't gonna be easy.
That's right, but it will be easy for Tiff because he just rings up Porsche, asks what new model they've brought out, and hey presto, that's his choice.
And that, Victoria, is because I am the only one that truly appreciates the value of fine handling, performance machinery. And this new sure-footed Carrera 4 is probably the safest car on the roads today. And it's a top totty puller.
Tiff, you are 47 years old. Act your age. With all this choice, we're unlikely to choose something as impossibly impractical as the 911. It has an engine where the shopping should be. I can tell you for nothing, the Porsche is not going to win.
And nor, Ray Wilkins, is it going to be the Mercedes A-Class. It's cute and it's clever, but you're paying an awful lot of money just for a badge.
The Vauxhall Astra isn't going to win either because it's too dull and because it bears a disturbing visual resemblance to the hateful Vectra. The sporty 2-litre Astra is very good, but it doesn't do enough to lift the whole range. We had high hopes for the Peugeot 206, which looks fantastic, but you can't help comparing it to the old 205, and if you do that, you can't help concluding that the old warhorse is better.
So it's nil point for this trio. Oof, I don't believe it. I think we've agreed on something. OK, let's take this one step further. Tiff, I seem to remember you were quite fond of a couple of 4x4s.
Two of Britain's favourites have been reborn this year. Both look just like their predecessors, yet both have been greatly improved under the skin. The Frontera now handles better and has a 3.2-litre V6 to give it some decent grunt. But if our Car of the Year is going to be a 4x4, the vote must go to the new Discovery, which now handles like a dream thanks to its anti-roll suspension and even has a new diesel that you can actually overtake with.
Tiff, you do not know what you're talking about. How can we possibly vote for either of these two as the Car of the Year when their new models look exactly like the old ones? We want something radical, something cutting edge. And more worryingly, Tiff, how can you possibly stand there and tell us that the Frontera is any good? The old one was a perambulating disaster,
Credit
Tiff.
where credit's due. It's greatly improved. They've got rid of that recirculating ball steering. It's got back and pinion. It's good. It handles.
Your cataracts are playing up.
No,
They must be.
no, you haven't driven it.
No, you need an injection.
It's got 3.2 V6.
Don't know what you're
It's got
talking
power.
about.
Children, forget about 4x4s. How about something a little sporting? The BMW 3 Series or the Ford Kuga? The BMW is a fine car and I love the way it handles, but it looks too much like the old one and it's way too expensive, nearly £20,000 for the entry-level 318. Too rich for me. The Kuga's good too, but somehow it just falls short of being really entertaining. As fast Fords go, it's certainly not the best I've driven.
Now, at this point, you're probably expecting me to wade into the fray and suggest that the winner should be some hugely expensive piece of exotica, something like this £60,000 supercharged Jaguar XKR. Well, I'm not going to. We all agree the Jaguar is superb, a little soft perhaps, but a Grand Tourer in the finest tradition nevertheless. However, it costs £60,000, and what I'm looking for here is a car that's fast and good-looking and comfortable, that doesn't cost more than a house. There is method in my madness here. You see, because I won't nominate this on the grounds of expense, it means Quentin can't nominate an infernal S-Class Mercedes-Benz.
He knows he has just pulled the carpet from beneath my feet. He knows that I was about to tell you that the new Mercedes S-Class should indeed be our Top Gear Car of the Year. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, it is quite simply the best car in the world because this is an awesome machine.
But Quentin, it's a barge.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
I think you'll find it
I
is.
think you'll find it's not.
Quentin, it's a great big wallowy saloon car.
Look, racing driver, a very little brain. You haven't driven it.
It'll
I have.
handle like a jelly on ice.
Tiff, I assure you, this car handles.
Keys. Oh, keys.
Tiff, what do you think of it?
I was expecting this big blancmange, but instead
They have
something I
completely
can just
rewritten the luxury car rulebook with this car.
around corners.
Very nice.
Very
Very nice.
They're wasting their time. It's too expensive.
Now, here we have
Thank you.
a 5-litre Leviathan that handles like a go-kart.
I think it's rather jolly, actually.
So it should be car of the year.
Darling, it's a bit too expensive.
It's only 80,000.
Yeah, peanuts to you, but...
Jeremy won't let us have it. It's
No.
too much money.
Look, boys, it's time you stopped pouncing around in your big cars and realised that the car of the year has got to be value for money, fun and flirty. Like this Mazda MX-5. Watch this, chaps. It is a wonderful bundle of joy that is immensely rewarding to drive in town or across country. The rear-wheel drive chassis is so easy to control and a hoot for a dash of hooliganism. At under £17,000, this 1.8i is a bargain. The 3-year warranty and excellent resale value make it a strong contender, but it just lacks all-round practicality.
Whose idea was it to put a woman on the programme? That is a girl's car.
It is good, though.
Well, I know.
Yeah, nice.
You're using that new exfoliating scrub.
Oh, it's wonderful for the pores. It's
It is.
really brilliant.
You use it.
Bit of gel as well, bit of gel.
Gel in the hair.
And that's a nice niche you've got in your woolly, Jeremy.
That's lovely.
And who actually does your hair these days?
That chap in Notting Hill uses this marvellous new conditioner. Have you encountered
Yes,
that?
it's good for the perm.
It is, it
yes,
is. Well, you know,
it gives it
it's
body
an
and
addition.
shine. Yes, I think it looks lovely. I really do.
Well, that's very kind, really. Honestly, it's very kind. Here's something sensible. It's the new Honda Accord, which is spectacularly quiet. Listen. And it's not much noisier than that when you turn it on. But, unfortunately, the new model isn't quite so good looking as the old one, and for that, it's out. Then we've got the Volvo S80, which has a number of commendable features. However, Quentin couldn't find any of them when he tested it earlier in the year, so this is out as well.
So, by process of elimination, that leaves these three: the Alfa Romeo 156, the Ford Focus and the Volkswagen Golf. One of these is going to be our car of the year, but which one? It's so exciting.
The Volkswagen Golf is good. Very, very good. It's classless, quick, entertaining, well-built and feels special. It's hugely fashionable and hugely able. In fact, it's a car that does almost everything very well indeed.
As you can see, the Alfa Romeo 156 is a perfectly sensible, well-priced four-door saloon car. And yet it's so much more than that. If you fit the twin-spark 2-litre engine, it's an absolute cracker. It is an electric ballet shoe.
The Focus has, of course, just been voted European Car of the Year. Not that we usually agree with what they say, but it does feature great attention to detail, fine handling thanks partly to independent rear suspension, attractive styling and a strong range of free-revving, torquey motors. So it has to be a strong contender.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got it.
Can we realistically vote for a Ford for a second year running?
I know, but it's good.
But this is so significantly different to anything else in the class that I like it.
I like it because it's good value for money. It's only just a whisker past £13,000.
And I love all the design detailing. I mean, it's fun, it's flamboyant, it's feisty. Tiff, your verdict on the handling?
Well, best of all is it handles perfectly. It goes just where you want it to. You see, you can go around that way and then
I need a
that way.
lavatory. I need a lavatory now.
I'm going to have to kill him, Quentin. I'm sorry. He's outlived his usefulness.
But the Focus, ladies and gentlemen, is the Top Gear top car of the year. Oh, no, please, no more.
Somewhere in the middle of London, my esteemed colleague Mike Brewer should be arriving at work to test this rather nice Mercedes SLK. But he can't, because I've nicked it. I'm going to ring up Mike Brewer and have a bit of a gloat.
Hello, James. Good morning.
Ah, morning, Mike. How are you, my old mate?
I've got the SLK in the car park and I'm meeting somebody for lunch. I'm going to get out and enjoy myself, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so, actually, Mike.
Why's that?
Because I've got it, mate.
You mean to tell me you've nicked my car?
Sorry, Mike, but I thought, you know, if you had it for the day, you'd take it down the auctions and flog it.
You can't do this to me!
Stick to your Vespa, Mike. Bye.
Nobody messes with Mike Brewer and gets away with it. This time it's personal. Very personal. But it's also a chance to see technology shattering the myth that you can jump into a motor and escape into the yonder. You might not know it, and James certainly doesn't, but Big Brother is out there, and he's watching you in your car.
Hi, Mel, mate. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
James's first mistake is talking on a mobile phone. Each time he calls, the computer stores his location. Police have even solved crime by tracking the villain's mobile. Then there are the cameras. They don't just take your picture, they can help the law to track your vehicle around the country. If I was going to catch James, a camera expert might be able to tell me something. Hello, yeah, is that CRS? Yeah, hello, it's Mike Brewer from Driven. I understand you can do number plate recognition. Yeah, I've got a problem. I need to track a Mercedes-Benz SLK.
There's no escape from this system. There it goes, bang. The camera is taking 25 pictures a second. Every single one of those pictures we are capturing. Every single car that goes by, we are reading the license plate of that car. The use of the information could be for database searching to find a particular vehicle that you're of interest. The number plate can be used to track you down so that you can be subsequently prosecuted if that's necessary.
So we clocked James heading onto the M54, but I had an even better way to get at him. It's Mike Brewer from Driven. James's SLK is so smart, it's even got an advanced satellite tracking system.
First of all, I can show you where the vehicle is.
Where James is Port Miriam, setting for the cult TV series The Prisoner. With the £400 Skynet tracker system in the car, I can not only find May, but I can make him my prisoner. From hundreds of miles away, I can take charge of the car's electronics as if by magic. James might be in the driving seat, but he won't be in control.
We can start off, first of all, by me connecting you to the vehicle with a voice link.
What, so through your Skyamp system, you can actually let me talk to James inside the car?
No problem at all. Let's do it now.
Hello, James? Yes, it's Brewer. It's payback time. Yeah, be prepared. I'm going to make your life hell.
Not entirely happy about this.
I want to get my own back on him. How do I do it?
No problem at all. If you look at the list of options we've got there, you can activate certain things in the vehicle.
What, stuff like horn hazards? I can do the CD and all of this stuff. What, all you got to do is click these buttons
on that icon,
and
yeah.
activate it.
Hang on. I didn't do that.
I left the Barbie Girl CD in the CD player, so you've got a CD button here. And as that's a real annoying record, can I activate it?
Go for it.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
James has learnt a bitter lesson. You never ever mess with Mike Brewer. And I learned something, that technology can be friend and foe. None of us is out of reach if somebody seriously wants to find us. Come on! There again, if the wrong person's in your car, they won't necessarily enjoy it. Or get away with it.
Summer is a heavenly time for classic cars. The beautiful people come out to play, bringing with them hundreds of their lovely machines. And it happens all over the world. California, London, even Cambridge, Wisconsin.
This is the 1955 Mercury Montclair Sun Valley, and its big claim to fame was this plexiglass roof. Only about 1,800 were ever made, and it's not exactly Pebble Beach stuff, but it's a reasonable classic. Anyway, by now you've probably got a couple of questions, namely, why aren't I wearing a shirt? And why have we come all the way to America for what is a pretty average car show? Well, the thing is, this little gathering isn't so much about the bodywork of the cars, so much as the bodywork of the owners.
Warning, what follows contains scenes of nudity and American cars. If either cause you offence, please turn over now.
Keep young and beautiful. It's your duty to be beautiful.
Held every summer at the Valley View Naturist Camp in Wisconsin, this is the Nude Classic Car Show. Now running strong in its 9th year, it's an opportunity to show off yet more big ends and dipsticks in all their glory.
Now, when I say nude, I mean nude, like nobody comes in through the main gate unless they're completely stripped down to the buff, which includes, look at that, you shambles, come on, get them off. Which one of you looks like Clinton? I bet Jean-Claude Van Damme will sleep easy tonight when he sees you lot. And you're not fooling anyone with that tripod, mate. 1, 2, 1, 2, testing. Right, gentlemen, into battle, and I just hope that I maintain the dignity of the British Empire.
I've got you
Morning.
under my skin.
It is a proper car show with categories and prizes. But to be honest, some of the machines, well, they're pretty average. In fact, some of the machines are positively agricultural. But you do get the odd rarity, like this Frank Sinatra Imperial. Now, what would the macho crooner make of all this? Maybe it's for the best that old Blue Eyes is now old Shut Eyes. Finally, though, we did come across this rather lovely little 1940s racer.
This car went and ran NASCAR in 1952 and 53. Indianapolis, of course, Lakewood, Georgia. They called it their Speedway division.
Yeah.
And it is the only NASCAR car that is running in a complete car that is operational.
Has it ever been rear-ended? I probably shouldn't say that here, should we?
It has been wrecked several times.
Really?
The pictures here show to this, yeah. But
you
in any
built
car, this is a occupational hazard, as to
Yeah.
say. It's going to happen.
What do you think about this show? You know, in England, we have nothing, really. We all stay behind indoors.
Well,
talk about the weather.
To each their own here.
The new car show came about simply because naturists are always looking for something else to do once they've got their kit on. However, for a newbie novice like me, at first it was hard to relax doing even the normal things.
Don't even think about it.
And there were other dangers besides Muttley's chops, such as leatherwork, cooking all day on Sunshine Mark IV.
We always buy vehicles that have like velour or corduroy type seats. We don't do the leather, we don't do the vinyl, we don't do that kind of stuff.
Right, Thelma and Louise.
I'm not driving off a cliff, though.
You've got my favourite car here, a two-door Thunderbird.
Bought in 1963 by my father. He owned it.
What if your father knew you were here with this, though?
I've often thought about that. I mean, he used to go to other car shows, but I don't know, if he knew about this, I don't know what he'd think. But he'd probably say, I really skipped a gear or something here, but, you know.
Because he'd be there with a pipe.
Right, yeah, he'd have his pipe. How did you know? Yeah, he smoked the pipe, yeah.
Son, I didn't send you to college for this.
At a regular car show, you have people with belt buckles on that don't watch what they're doing, leaning against the cars.
Yeah.
And at this place, that's not a problem. Nobody's going to scratch the car.
Nobody's going to scratch your car, no. Mind you, there's one or two with piercings. Now, they
I've noticed that.
I've noticed that, yes.
The nude car show may be small, but I found it very friendly and laid back. And as regards all that other classic car stuff like bitching and backbiting about who wins, well, there just isn't any. It runs like a dream. But remember, if you fancy exposing yourself to it, along with every dream, there always comes the odd nightmare.
Life really couldn't get much better. I'm driving the fantastic Jaguar XKR Cabrio. I've got the sun on my face, the wind in my hair, the leather on my bottom where I like it, and all this could be yours for just £67,000.
James, is this your bank statement? I think I'm buying lunch. When did Jag want the car back?
£67,000.
You could buy a house for that, but not to worry because there are plenty of cabrios out there for less than a third of the Jag's price.
So, got a family hatchback with a silly little sunroof? For the same money, you could mess your hair up properly. The Fiat Barchetta. Now, you might think we're running this bit of film back to front. Yes, it's only available in left-hand drive, but this one's been converted. However, that can't disguise the fact that it's based on the humble mechanicals of the Punto.
Which means, of course, that it's front-wheel drive. Ooh, now, purists will tell you that that's an absolute travesty of proper sports car design, but I wouldn't let it worry you. Yes, the steering can get a bit flighty when you're pressing on really hard, but otherwise, this is just a typical bundle of small Fiat fun. And I love it. It's very stylish too, and it's got a hard cover for the hood. What a brilliant idea. All this is yours for £15,855. Pretty cheap, really. But remember, this is a small car with a small boot, so pack accordingly.
No, well, don't worry about that because I'm sending my luggage on ahead. Yes, no, that'll be fine. All right, I'll see you shortly. Thanks, bye-bye. Now, if you thought that MG stood for Oldie England and endless sunny days spent tinkering with your big end, then you should try one of these. This is a small sports car with supercar pretensions. It's mid-engined, and this range-topping model has got variable valve timing as well. The £20,670 is a bit pricey, but it's good fun. When it gets going, that is. You see, unfortunately, our JD Power survey revealed that this car spends more time in the garage than any other. It's a good job I got that 99p socket set for Christmas then, hey?
Alternatively, you could try something Japanese. Have you ever noticed how long a Mazda light bulb lasts? Hop in.
The Mazda MX-5 is a proper sports car. The engine's in the front, the driving wheels are at the back. It's agile, it's pointable, and from outside, it looks the biz.
OK, so putting the tonneau on is like trying to write your name in Japanese. And the interior is a little bit on the dull side, but to be honest, I can always think of something much better to look at.
Yeah, it's like the mystery and wonder of God's creation.
This is a top-of-the-range 1.8, but the 1.6 is just £15,520. Bargain!
Now, do you want to play in the mud or sit in the sun? Well, Land Rover reckons you can do both with the Freelander Softback. This is a pucker off-roader built by the experts, and it's pretty good on-road as well. But I have a complaint.
This car costs £16,570. If I had bought it, I'd want a refund. This isn't a convertible. It's a Land Rover with a tent on the back and a couple of glass panels. The good news is, though, it's got 4 seats. So, if there's a sudden British downpour, it's all hands on deck to erect the awning. Complicated's not the word.
Well, yes, it rains a lot in Britain. And here's another possibly related fact. Lots of people have children. But if your offspring are costing you a fortune, don't worry, because 4UP Convertible Family Fun starts at just £15,489 with this, the Fiat Punto Cabriolet. Now, this borders on being a comedy motor car. Your neighbours may laugh at you. Let them.
Because when the single stalkless flower of the sun hangs in the inverted blue bowl of the sky, it's champion. The Punto's perfect for just, well, butting about.
Renault have given the Megane a facelift, but apart from the front, which now smiles inanely at you, it looks pretty much the same. I do, and I always have, like these speedster-inspired humps. And under the humps lurks a very good hood. Raise this roof, in fact, and you've got a car that's almost as good as a tin top. But of course, you don't want the roof up, you want the roof down. The only problem then is that it exposes the dullest interior this side of Kidderminster. But what's it like to drive? Let's find out. Well, the steering's a bit floppy and the gear change's a bit obstructive, but it has got an eager engine. If I sound a bit uninspired, that's because I am for £17,900. I can think of better ways to ruin your hairdo.
Ooh, the VW Golf, that old chestnut. I'm suddenly feeling all grown up. Hang on, I am grown up. That'll be why I like the Golf's tasteful exterior styling and these crisp, high-quality interior fittings. But it's beginning to look a bit like a modern classic rather than the trendsetter that it once was. It's based on an old-shaped Golf. Look at the size of the stowed hood. Looks like somebody dumped an old mattress on there while I was in the deli. This is the 1.6 SE. It will cost Quentin 18,025 of his pounds. It's expensive, but it feels worth it. Not as stylish as it was then, but it still has substance. And people say that about me.
Really? Now, the French used to like nothing better than chopping heads off, and this tradition continues with the Peugeot 306 Décapotable. This is a cabrio for sun worshippers and driving enthusiasts alike. Fine handling with good meaty steering. And this drop top is also drop-dead gorgeous.
So why is this French car so pretty?
Because the French had nothing to do with it. It's the work of Pininfarina, Italians.
This pretty pug has the most sophisticated hood here. It's fully electric and it's got a cover, so you won't spoil those pretty Italian lines and you won't need your nail file, love. However, that sophistication comes at a price. This is the most expensive of our chopped hatchbacks.
£20,470.
But I can't believe they spent any of that money on the dash.
And I can't believe it's not wood.
I reckon that this is the best full-size cabrio in our group. For a snip over 20 grand, you get style, panache, and what looks like real walnut. Gets my vote.
But not mine. I only seem to need 2 seats, as I hope to make clear in a minute. So I'm going to go for the small Mazda. It's the second cheapest car here, and it's still the most fun. But remember, whatever you choose, cabrios are cool. So now, as they're always saying in car magazines at this time of year, let's go topless. What do you say, Julia?
I agree. I like to end on a cliché.
Sorry, viewers. Gotta go.
Up here in the Arctic Circle, the dog sled has been used as a mode of transport for about 4,000 years.
Now, these guys can go places where even the toughest 4x4 can't. So this week on Driven, we've got a group test with a difference.
This week's pack are happiest when they're out in the countryside. The Alaskan Husky, the closest relative of the wild wolf, is the ultimate sled dog. They're built to withstand the toughest terrain with a clever 4-foot traction system that applies the power to the foot with the most grip. Hit the gas and they'll get you up to 25 miles an hour. But if you want to relax and cruise a while, well, they can do that too. The Alaskan Husky can cover over 100 miles a day. So they're tough, but are they tough enough? We judge them on drivability, desirability, cost of ownership and practicality.
First up, practicality. Now, a team of 12 dogs can haul up to 500 kilograms, that's half a tonne, for 7 hours at full chat. Now, in my book, that makes them pretty practical.
Right now, cost of ownership. These dogs eat 1.5 kilos of mince and fat and all sorts of stuff per day, and in winter training they burn 7,000 calories a day. And I put that into perspective, a pal of mine did the London Marathon this year and he only burnt 3,500. So they're working twice as hard. No wonder they're hungry. Desirability.
Well, they're pretty cute, but I don't fancy yours much, mate.
No.
So all that's left then is drivability. Up for a time lap?
Yeah, come on, let's have a race.
Yeah.
Come on, lads.
But they need to learn to walk before they can run, so it's back to the classroom for Mike and Jace.
The first thing is the brake. You need to use the brake properly to slow the dogs down.
And how do you steer?
You steer the sled with moving your body weight from runner to runner.
And do we talk to the dogs?
Yeah, you can talk a little bit. They like if you say some nice words to them and encourage them to run.
Jason's gone off into the forest. It's a timed lap. We're going to see how fast he goes round and gets back. We've got the stopwatch going. As soon as he gets back here, it's my turn.
Come on, mush, mush, mush! Come on! I don't think you understand the words mush. Mush! Now, steering this thing is quite tricky because you've got to kind of put some weight on one of the sleds, and it does turn a little bit, but not very much. But ultimately, you go where they're going to take you. They take a racing line, but they forget I'm on the back. I'm going to get dragged to a load of bushes now. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Hello. Turn right! Right! Come on, fellas.
Come on, Jace! Come on! Come on! Yes! That's 4 minutes, 12 seconds for Mr. Plato.
We were impressed by the direct steering and sense of balance that Plato demonstrated through the tight course. But how will Brewer get on?
Give me some big dogs!
Go,
Go, boys! Go, 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 go! Come on! Come on, lads! How'd you tell them left and right? Come on, lads! No, 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 no. Right, so I'm going to go right here. So I need to push down hard on this foot. No, I'm going to go straight on. Oh, Christ. I'm knackered already. My legs feel like they're going to explode. I didn't know you had to pedal as well. Oh, there's a big hill here. What? Ah! Ah! I've hit a tree. I've hit a tree. Come back, lads.
He's gone. Where's Mike gone? Where's Mike? Mike! What happened, fella? What happened, mate?
That's me time.
Well, you're not past the line yet. Get past it.
I hit a tree full on. Full on.
You all right, mate?
Full on. Slapped into a tree. And I was holding on to them, but they wouldn't stop and they dragged me through. They dragged me through that stuff for about 100 yards before I just let go. I go back and get me hat. Oh, I don't feel very well.
So the dogs were up to it, but what about the boys? Well, it's a conclusive result in this week's group test where Jason is the obvious top dog and takes the lead. And Mike, well, he just takes the biscuit at the back of the pack.
Not sure about that. I mean, how can you love a place where they're world champions at making everything either big, vulgar, or absolutely tasteless? In Los Angeles, if anything stands still for 10 seconds, it'll get a facelift, and that includes the cars.
We do have stretch limos in England, but they're usually quite sad affairs filled with cheap velour and boxing promoters. There's not many about either. Whereas out here in Los Angeles, they turn them out like Ford Escorts. And naturally, being LA, they treat them almost like an art form.
There are only 12 limousine builders in America, and LA-based Classic consider themselves the best. Customers who they've stretched cars for include the King of Thailand and martial arts movie tough guy, Steven Seagal.
The basic recipe is to start with a squidgy $40,000 Lincoln Town Car, add 10 feet in the middle, and $25,000 later, end up with this.
Clinton may be having trouble lighting his cigars, but his economy is booming, and so is the limo business, with Classic alone turning out 400 a year. And if you're the type who judges a book by its cover, then you won't be disappointed.
We offer an interior like this, which is called a Wave. It's one of the newest things out on the market today. It's real popular. It's kind of showy, disco-y, you know. We offer a full business short sedan. It has a computer in it, fax machine, everything that you need in your office.
Well, that's all very well for people who want to work, but this is more what I meant. Talk me through what we're in here.
This is kind of like the ultimate party wagon. It's got the stainless steel chrome ceiling. This gives you the mirror effect, and it stays shiny. And you've got the disco lights that do different things on the sides. You've got the different colored fiber optic lights. It's a mini Vegas on wheels. All the glass lighting up. You've got your champagne well that opens and closes with mirrors. You've got your ice chest there. It's just a new style, sleek.
TV behind you.
Yeah, TV and TV VCR in the end.
And I'm going to demonstrate, because I've got the machinery here to do it. I've got the partition going down. And we can see out into your workshop with everybody working away.
Those workers take around 8 weeks to build a normal $65,000 stretch. But for $500,000, they'll give you something a bit more serious.
Ted, this is a Mercedes, so I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's a special car destined for a faraway country, yeah?
It is going for export. It is armored to level NIJ-3, which will protect it against high-powered rifle fire. Typical NIJ, National Institute of Justice. It's a testing standard used throughout the world for military testing. This particular vehicle is armored to protect against AK-47, M16, and your NATO 308. It will take direct hits. It has 1 3/4-inch ballistic glass in it with what we call a no-spa interior, so if it is struck, there are no glass shards that come out from the inside.
And that'll stop a AK-47?
AK-47 can stitch this at point blank. The door, the ceiling, the roof. But most important, bad guys seem to know that you can shoot through the edges of cars. This car has a complete ballistic steel inner liner, as well as an inner liner between the windshield and the edge. So there's no edge that a person can shoot through.
So bad guy, I never knew that.
Bad guys shoot at bright parts. That's kind of a motto in our industry.
In Latin, on their school caps.
Some owners can even fight back. One customer, for example, installed this remote control operated machine gun in the boot. But on a lighter note, across town there's a rival limo builder who will stretch the most inappropriate cars he can find, like this low-slung sporty Mustang.
Yes, I want a gold ring, riding in a limousine. I'm working so hard to give you any love.
And this is a mere tea-break project for the man they call Big Vinny.
Well, you see we did Mustangs, Testarossa Ferraris, Lamborghini Countaches, Porsches, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Maseratis. We stretch everything.
You've done some unusual ones in the past too, yeah? Didn't you have a golf green and the longest one in the
we did the
world?
world's longest 105 foot with a putting green and a helicopter, swimming pool, jacuzzi, 26 wheels.
Who buys this kind of gear that you do?
Just different people, millionaires, celebrities.
What celebrities have you built cars for?
Sylvester Stallone, John Travolta, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Clint Eastwood, Tom Minnesota, on and on, 450.
And here we are, back in yet another sumptuous limo interior. But this time, it's nothing compared to what the car is like on the outside. And you want to guess what it is? Well, place your bets now.
Time's up, and Vinny's won again, because now he's taken Arnold Schwarzenegger's favourite car and made it into something really special for Oscar night. The only trouble is, everyone will have gone home by the time your Hummer gets there, because with an extra 14 feet of body, the poor old turbo diesel has to haul 6 tons of car. Now, is this limo bug contagious? Well, of course it is if you live in LA. Take any ordinary local, give him a couple of crummy cars, and he'll have a stab at DIY stretchery, even if it's only got 38 horsepower and looks like 2 Hondas enjoying an intimate moment.
This is 2 Honda 600s coupe models that were wrecked, one in the front and one in the rear. And rather than just scrap the things out, I decided I'd see if I could put them together. So I did my plans to see if it was possible. Decided, yeah, it could be done. So I went to cutting and fitting until I just stuck it together. And it stood up so well you could jump up and down on it before any bolts or anything were put in to hold it together.
So what do your friends and family think about this?
They think it's completely out of reason, I mean. But on the other hand, we've been approached by several people that would like to use it for school get-togethers, proms and things like that, weddings.
I can't quite see it at Oscar nights, though, with Sylvester Stallone getting out of it, can you?
No. Matter of fact, if you get 6 passengers in there, you have a pretty good time getting it rolling.
At the end of the day, if you're a bloke at least, these limos are all about attracting the opposite sex. So if you fancy a night on the town in LA, but the interior doesn't grab them, and they're not too impressed with your length, then this one has a secret weapon that should do the trick. Hello. And indeed, goodbye.
Don't be unkind. Get something for the weekend. Get something.
Okay, you bought your dream house in your dream location. In fact, it's everything you ever dreamt of, but then it becomes a bit lived in, a bit shabby. So what do? You sell it on, of course. No? Well, why do it with your car then? If it's mechanically sound, there's no point in getting rid of it just because the seats are worn. You could try a makeover. Hi, today we're going to accost some hapless member of the public, take their car away and transform it, all for a shot at fame and the chance to escape the unending bleakness of their day-to-day existence. Smashing. Okay, everyone meet, Russ. Okay, Russ, off you go. Leave. Just go.
So while he's away for the morning, we're going to take his tired old Beamer, brush away the cobwebs and perform some automotive nips and tucks. Having spent a bit of time finding second-hand parts and exploring the after-sales market, it shouldn't cost the earth. Can I stop smiling now, please?
As you can see, they haven't exactly splashed out on the budget, but starting up a car shouldn't be difficult, especially with Noel and his highly trained team of mechanical experts to show us the tricks of the trade. And remember, all we're trying to do is make it better to look at, to sit in, and perhaps, just perhaps, sell on.
OK, you can perform a similar recovery on lots of cars, but with this 96 BMW 3 Series, we know it's mechanically sound and that there are plenty of parts to be found.
Right, we've seen it looks exceptionally scruffy. What can we do to sort it out?
Well, the first thing are wheels and tyres. Some nice alloy wheels and tyres. Get rid of the damaged headlamp lens and fog lamp lens.
What shall I do? Is there anything I can do?
No, but I can tell you that insurance could be affected by alterations, so check with your company.
Everything just pops in and out, doesn't it? When you're changing things around, you obviously don't have to be completely original. We've gone for these clear lenses, which make it look a bit newer, a bit younger. So we're going to pop these old orange ones out, which they're doing at the moment, and slide these ones in. The touch of a fairy. Look at that. Choices, choices.
Aftermarket equipment for cars comes in a variety of forms. You can get the stuff which can make your car look and sound a bit over the top. But if I were you, I'd go for the cheaper pattern parts, not made by the manufacturer, but designed specifically for your car.
It's all a matter of taste, really. Just because you can stick something on doesn't mean you should. You might fancy adding flared arches and an air intake, but it'll just make your car more nickable and do little for its resale value. Now, to me, the inside looks worse than the outside. What can we do for that?
Well, the inside can be cleaned and made look better by simple things like gear lever gaiters, gear knob, brake pedals and pedal rubbers. We can get the thing clean. Any damaged trim needs to be replaced. Good valet inside, perhaps some floor mats. Again, the car would look totally different.
So a bit of automotive housework.
Absolutely right.
But hold on, instead of cleaning the interior, you could replace it altogether. A new interior for a BMW? On our budget? Impossible? Well, not necessarily.
Each year, thousands of damaged cars are scrapped, but before they're crushed, all the useful bits are taken off and flogged on. You can get leather seats, alloy wheels, CD change and fog lights from scrap yards for absolute peanuts.
I think you should leave now, sir.
See the gear stick there? No, I did that all by myself.
Oh, that's good.
This hasn't taken 5 minutes, has it?
No, I mean, it's obviously a bit more difficult if you're going to do it yourself, but we do it fairly regularly.
So with a bit of spit and polish to finish it off. And, well, OK, it's not the full Llewellyn Bowen, but for a few £100 and a couple of hours' work, a bit of dedicated hunting for parts, and you've not only increased the value of the car, but you've made it look pretty respectable. And if you do decide to sell it on, you may even make a bit of a profit. I bet Russ can't wait.
Oh, yeah, it's very nice. Oh, I see you've changed the, yeah.
That's it for tonight. Next time, Feng Shui for your 5-door. Are you happy, Russ?
Yeah.
Good, because let's face it, as makeovers go, the car is the least of your problems.
First they locked me in, now they've cast me out. A couple of bad breaks, now I'm in the gutter. I'd sell my soul to Satan for one last roll of the dice. El Diablo, the devil.
All men have secrets, there is mine, so let it be known. For we have been through hell and high tide, I think I can rely on you.
Forgive me, viewers, for I have sinned, but I am not the first to be led into temptation. Back in 1948, Ferruccio Lamborghini began making tractors which were in desperately short supply in post-war Italy. It was good, honest toil. But by the 1960s, the venture was so successful that he was able to buy himself a Ferrari, and he saw that it was not really good enough. So he decided to build one of his own, and thus begat Lamborghini Automobili. Ever since, upstart Lamborghini has been cocking a snook at namby-pamby Ferrari. Today, I have the latest Lamborghini Diablo. The new car has redesigned headlights, the better to light the path of darkness, a remodeled interior to pamper shamelessly to the pleasures of the flesh, and a modified engine to raise power on high to 530 horsepower. And yea, verily, am I sore afraid. There's no point mincing around like you're driving a Fiat hatchback. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. Drive it hard. It's an enormous thrill. It looks outrageous. It goes even faster than a bat out of hell and costs many thousands of pieces of silver. I like this pact with El Diablo. And lo, the Diablo moved among them with a mighty sound, and the people fell down before the graven image, making bass appeals like, "Can I have a go?" But God, as ever, is in the details, and he has forsaken the Diablo. The paintwork is beautiful, and so is the hand-built body. But though the interior may look sumptuous, many of the bits have been pilfered from cheap, everyday Fiats. Not what you want when prices start at £140,000. I'm beginning to get a devilish stiff neck. I think it's because I don't really fit in here properly. If I try to sit upright, I keep banging my head on here. And my feet can do no good work upon the pedals in my coarse boots, so I am condemned to go barefoot. And mine eyes may as well be plucked out for all the use they are while reversing. I can't see a thing out of the back. And it is easier for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than it is for me to climb in and out of this Lamborghini with any grace. And on these little roads where a car like this should excel, it's just too wide. In fact, I'm beginning to feel a bit wide myself. I mean, what does this car say about me? That I have all my worldly goods? Or that I was born under the sign of Onan, and shall forevermore spill my seed fruitlessly into the wilderness? Or something like that. In the end, I decided to remove the false idol from my gaze and renounce evil. Get thee behind me, Satan.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Come on, James. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. You must know the words. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
The new year is almost upon us, and so indeed is the new millennium. It's right, therefore, that our thoughts are to the future. What will the world be like in 10, 15, 20, 25 years? Will there be roads? Will there be cars? Will there even be petrol to put in them? Who knows? Well, we know, because Top Gear has seen the future. And I'm here to tell you, we're a bit worried. By the year 2005, the government had taxed the price of petrol to a stratospheric €200 a gallon. But it didn't stop enthusiasts who sold their houses and lived rough in their cars instead. So the government commissioned a special report blaming the internal combustion engine for the failure of the stock exchange, British industry and the entire education system. The motor car, they claimed, was the cause of all our woes. Petrol was banned and cars were forced to run on gas. Not only did they keep exploding in the street, their new emissions mucked up the geo-environmental sphere, causing volcanic eruptions in Solihull. The Midlands disappeared. But it wasn't all good news. In 2010, there was a national speed limit of a glacial 5 miles an hour.
Morning.
And if you dared to exceed it, armed road police with hidden sensors in the shrubbery were omnipresent. 10 miles an hour was an instant confiscation. 15 miles an hour, a €10,000 fine, and 20 miles an hour meant certain deportation to the Bournemouth penal colony. In 2015, new car purchase tax was hiked to 980%. The motor industry went bankrupt. Honest and blameless car dealers were reduced to earning an occasional shilling selling vintage electric cars. A lovely little runner at just €100,000. Petrol was only available on shadowy street corners, but you risked everything.
Have you got any petrol?
I have.
I need petrol. I haven't had a drive for 2 months.
Top quality gear, this. You got the cash?
No, mate, I'll be good for it. You know I'll be good for it.
No deals. Cash or nothing,
Watch,
up front.
I've got a watch. Have me watch.
What do you think this is, Antiques Roadshow?
I can get it. 2 hours. I'll be back in 2 hours with the cash here. Don't go. Please, don't. I need that petrol.
The government also tried to crack down on the base and sordid practice of car enthusiasts travelling to Thailand to openly abuse an assortment of muscle cars. There was national outrage when a tabloid cable show secretly filmed 3 Euro ministers cavorting on Clapham Common with a Dodge Viper. The government fell and the deputy Euro president led a coup d'etat. The thoughts of Chairman Prescott were beamed hourly onto great telescreens in every city. But the transport infrastructure had long since collapsed and cities were just empty monuments.
Despite having twice the level of...
But in 2020, the backlash began. All over the country, enthusiasts secretly kept their passion alive.
Or, if you want something a bit more specialist, Max Power Turbo.
And Top Gear, forced to go underground, found its stories where it could.
You were right, Quentin. It's a car.
I know.
Which one?
Look, it's big. It's huge.
It is a huge one. Get fill it up.
What is it?
It's an Aston. Oh, it's an Aston Martin. Is it a Vantage? It is. Look, it's got the nose. It's a Vantage. Okay, listen, everyone. Listen, this is the last of the V8s, okay? This is what people used to drive. Seriously, you paid, what was it, Quentin? What did you pay?
You used to pay about £100, I think, to use the road.
I'm driving. Don't spill any. Don't spill it.
Yeah, nearly. A bit more.
You know, I can remember driving one of these things from Lincolnshire to Uttoxeter. I had Elgar on before he was banned, you know, and it was just brilliant. How fast is this thing, Tiff?
It's 0 to 60 under 5 seconds. It's just a buzz. I need a fix.
I'm getting it. How many horsepower was it?
A massive 600.
600. You all right back there, by the way?
I've lost all sensation in my legs, but it doesn't matter. It's worth it. It's wonderful.
How long will I find?
Whoa, what's happening?
You have been
been found to be in contravention of Euro Traffic Directive 645, which means the immediate termination of the vehicle and all of its contents. Sergeant, dispense the law.
But the future was just pretend. Mercifully, we're in the present, where we still have monsters like this. The Dodge Viper GTS, V10, 8-litre, 175 miles an hour and 8 miles to every gallon.
Lamborghini Diablo V12 four-wheel drive, 202 miles per hour, 6 miles to the gallon.
The 7-litre V12 Lister Storm, 7 miles to the gallon.
And of course the Ferrari 355. You know, 47 cows were skinned so this interior would look nice. Have a great Christmas.